100% of you get it correct. Okay. For question 2 is the correct answer is this one, identity negotiation theory. 你嘗試說服人哋接受你，想人哋點睇你嘅身份。咁我上星期就俾咗阿 Jazz 嗰個 case 大家啦，咁都有12位同學答啱嘅 ，not too bad. Question 3 actually the correct answer is ascription. Avovo is how you see yourself. 你點睇你自己 avovo， 人哋點睇你係 ascription. Okay, so trap students get it correct as well. Okay, so not too good. And for question 4 actually is gender. 你 match with 你冇變性啊嘛，你 match with 你原生嗰個性別喎，你變咗性先係 transgender 喎。Okay, don't overlook the question. So the correct answer is gender. Okay, 原生性別冇變性，原生生理性別就係 gender 啦。你變咗性，男變女，女變男嘅就係 transgender。咁呢個係又係60幾同學 not so good。好 ，question 5 actually the correct answer is cultural brokers。我記得6位同學答啱啫。呢啲上面嗰啲我作嘅 ，OK， 即係你作為一個橋梁，去將兩個跨文化嘅 group 你去同佢共融、去溝通、減低衝突嘅。咁我俾個 Jeffrey， 佢係全香港第一個南亞裔嘅土生土長嘅訓練出嚟嘅社工，咁佢就係一個 culture brokers 啦。好，完，冇問題，我開始講書。等等我 share 個 screen 先。好 ，so for today we move on to another big topic: language and intercultural communications。語文啊，呢科好大讀嘅 linguistic 你都讀下語言學嘅一啲基本嘅概念。咁咧I will talk about how can you structure a language。你建立一個語言其實有唔同嘅元素嘅，有啲咩元素咧？一陣間再講啊嚇 ，OK。Besides that, the roles of different kinds of languages and metaphor. This was is 暗喻、隱喻，一陣間都會有例子同埋邀請大家去分享一下嘅。And besides that, what can be the impact of power when you try to talk to one another? We slightly touched on this in lecture 2, I think, okay? We haven't drilled further, but today we will talk more. And sometimes we may also need to use code switching. And due to cross-cultural difference, sometimes we have stereotype 偏見。咁一陣間我哋都要講下。And lastly, we will talk about the language policy 一啲語言上嘅政策。And I will pick the situations of China to explain further later on. 好，咁我開翻個 PowerPoint 先。好，呢啲原翻嚟。等等啊，碌翻上去先。好。So actually, I want to add one more point, okay? This news actually is quite new. This lady, this girl, actually she got married already. She is the first female prison officer in Hong Kong, and she is an ethnic minority, okay? 佢係錫克教徒啦，Sikh female prison officer, okay? So that is another example to demonstrate the inclusive society within a society. 好。另外 cultural brokers 咧 ，another example I want to that is Jeffrey 啦，我上堂分享咗佢第一位即係南亞裔嘅社工啦，土生土長訓練。另外一個咧好多做呢啲跨文化關愛工作嘅明星咧就係 Angelina Jolie。OK，actually she can be seen as an icon of cross-cultural interaction as well。好，咁呢度講咗好。咁呢度咧actually nowadays within the world。We have different kinds of languages, more than 7,000 language around the world， 有成7000多種唔同嘅語言係喺地球上而家運用緊啦。OK， 係啦。咁in different languages, we have different kind of slang， 有唔同嘅俗語。OK，so now I have a first discussion with you guys. You can answer me through public chat to get your participation mark。你等我開翻個 public chat先。So within Hong Kong, we also have lots of slang。我哋有好多俗語，我想大家喺 public chat 嗰度打啲俾我睇。例如我舉個例 DQ，that is one of the popular slang after the unstable political situations. That means disqualify，即係我哋都成日講 DQ 你咁樣就你就知個意思㗎啦。咁我想大家諗下啲其他嘅例子，跟住喺 public chat 嗰度分享出嚟啊嚇。咁我可以俾啲 participation mark 大家。我睇睇先嗱，有同學有 input 啦，有 input 啦。好嗱，你繼續打下，我一路講嘅時候啊，我一路講，有攞翻去。OP 係啦 ，low 係啦 ，overpower。TK 我唔知係咩喎 ，TK 係咩意思咧 ？DD 係啦 ，DD 或者 GG 咁嗰啲係啦。加呢個唔識喎，可唔可以解釋下啲同學有啲太新我都唔識啊？係啦 TGIF 係 tear gas 嗰個啊，係啦 ，at all 呢啲都係 slang 咩？呢個都係嘅，都係即係香港係 TB Tomboy hea 蛇王LMK， 喂，有啲我唔識解嘅，麻煩嗰啲同學可唔可以開麥講下 LMK XD Oh my God 你嘅隻 OMG 啦，係啦 PS Tomorrow TMR TK 係 Team Q 啊，一齊攬炒啊，係咪啊？Means killing your teammates during a shooting game。OK， ASAP 呢個唔係 slang 喎，呢個係一啲 short form 我哋叫係啦，俗語啊，係啦。OK，please 呢啲都唔係 slang， 係啦，我要你俗語係啦，即係唔係一啲即係將啲嘢縮短去講啊，係啦 ，MK 係啦，好 MK 啦，咁即係嗰啲好頹廢啊，粗口閒事染晒金毛嘅人啦，係啦。Chang PM means you wanna trade with somebody。OK， 好，等我俾一俾翻先，太多啦實在。有冇其他依期興啊？我都唔知啊嚇。係啦 ，Thanks God is Friday。哦 ，TGI 咪 Thanks God is Friday 啊。OK， 呢個我唔識喎。年輕人真係唔同啲啊。OP， 跟住就錯係啦，好錯啦，即係呢個都係俗語啦，係啦。咩叫錯啫？即係懶型咁咯，跟住就 LMFS 嗱，麻煩大家打完嗰個字，你俾啲解釋，有啲我唔識係 cam 係好 cam 啦，係呢個係俗語啦，好明顯係啦，等等我啊，跟住就哈碌係啦，哈碌呢個就比較經典少少嘅 hea 啦，係啦，好 hea， 以前都冇呢個字嘅，係啦 ，chain 係啦 ，chur 係啦，好 chur 啦，係啦，呢一個都係俗語啦。係啦，等我俾翻先，等我，好忙啊。跟住就有啲好多重複 kick 係俗語啊 ，kick 啊 ，LMAO 係咩意思啊 ？LMAO 兩盒 P 齊啦，呢個好明顯係 slang 啦。我哋呢一期即係疫症嘅期間，唔該兩盒 thanks 咁樣嚇，係啦，咁呢個係 slang 啦，係啦，跟住符碌，等等我啊。俾緊分兼睇緊大家啲嘢，係啦 ，MSW 啊冇所謂啊 ，MSW 係冇所謂啊，哦，我又長知識啦，唔好意思啊，老啦我 ，Laugh my ass off 嗰啲咁嘅字 ，interesting， 唉 ，RIU， 我呢啲係啲短寫咧，1999啊，19嘅講嘢1999 ，OK，interesting。喂，大家而家講嘅真係好精簡，我完全真係詞彙都唔多，隻揩係啦，好揩 ，OK， 係咁呢啲係俗語啦，即係話佢傻丙啦，符碌 ，OK， 係呢個你另外一個表達方式，即係可能你喺 text messages 嘅時候，跟住就Connie 係咪啱啱上線定點啊？跟住睇下先 ，C 九係啦 ，C 九啲師奶啦，以前我哋唔會咁樣 C 九噶嘛，係啦，跟住。稱師兄，我師兄係兩粒字嚟嘅 ，OK，interesting Griffin，OK，I got you， 係啦，超係啦，好超啦，係而家我哋好興講啦，即係好正啦嚇，九唔搭八啦，9588哇咁簡單嘅講嘅全部 number 啊，英文字簡化，而家已經大家進化到呢個溝通模式啦 ，OK，interesting，DC 9 OK。係咪有特別隱喻㗎？嗱 ，no political standpoint in my class，OK，please laugh my ass off。頭先有同學講啦，係啦，即係即係我睇都幾俗下，我唔方便再傳譯啦，OK，係啦，跟住就佛系係啦，即係而家成日啲人話佢好，想講佢好 hea 之後話佢佛系啦，即係基本上乜都唔理啦。某啲嘅社會嘅部門都係佛系啦，OK，that is a slang，definitely you got it，OK，阿 Tiffany 講。係啦，跟住就laugh 呢個好興㗎，原來大家好多人講 laugh my ass off，OK， 好 AKA as known as 啊 ，as known as 啊 ，OK， 好，等我打埋分先，好鬼忙啊，跟住就bye bye 係啦，88啦 ，RIP OK， 你無啦啦唔會叫人 RIP 啊嘛，係啦，袁偉傑 OK， 係啦，跟住就。FAMJ 意指社交平台頗有名氣的人 ，OK，FAMJ OK， 哦有個咁嘅字啊 ，OK， 哎呀我老啦，我真係覺得 C 九係啦，係佢講 ，Nevermind 係啦 ，MVM 啊，係啦呢個， 跟住就中二病啊，中二病即係咩意思啊？唔好講粗口啊嚇 ，OK？ 我知道嗰個阿 Michelle 啊 ，OK？ 嗰個唔係 slang 啊，都係 foul language，my dear，OK？ 冇翻啊 ，C9 DC9 的士狗啊，咩叫的士狗 ？Oh no，OK， 我要 need to stop 啦，太多啦 ，OK？ 嗱 ，as you can see，即係 slang，we have lots of slangs from time to time。六 UO。CLS 係啦，係愛啊，哈利係啦，好索 ，OK 係啦，咁大家都明即係呢個意思啦。咁我一陣間播條片俾大家睇，就係講出即係廣東話嘅 slang 嘅有趣地方。你等我打埋分先，係啦，見字飲水係啦，提醒大家飲即係疫症期間啦。NMSL 係咩意思啊？等等我啊，我真係唔識啊，唔好意思，係啦，黑人問號係啦，嗰個公仔啊，係啦。即係都唔知想點啊！即係暗語就係等我俾翻阿 Tiffany 先，跟住就 work from home 係啦 ，work from home 係 WFH 我知係啦 ，work from home forever 而家要 forever，OK 係啦 ，interesting。跟住 SLS 我呢個唔識，有請師傅即係 OK 係呢一個都係嘅，跟住就停止啦嚇 ，LM 留名係啦 ，PM 冇啦，咁呢啲都係 slang 啦 ，OK。有咩 PM 我啦，係啦，呢一個都係啦，跟住就壞咗，係啦，我係一個壞咗嘅人啦 ，from 許志安，唔知佢英文名叫咩啊 ，Mr. 許，係啦，即係代表啲人偷食完，跟住就係嚇壞咗嘅人啊 ，OK， 呢個粗口嚟㗎 ，OK， 係啦，幫緊你係啦，唔好咁勞氣，係呢一個係嘅，FOUNG 係啦，跟住就Team Q 係頭先都有同學講咗啦。攬炒，繼續吹，好，跟住就停止啦 ，OJ 等於 OK 啊，哇，真係完全兩回事嚟嘅 ，interesting 啊，跟住就 Be Water 係啦 ，Be Water 係個 slogan 嚟嘅喎，唔係 slang 喎，係啦，壞過海婷啊，我係咪講嗰個欺凌嗰個女仔啊？壞過海婷，跟住就 WF 係啦 ，work from home forever 啦，頭先同我解釋咗啦 ，work from home 啦，係啦，唔好講粗口啊，扣分啊，我將你全部歸零可以 ，OK， 係啦，方丈都係 slang 㗎 ，interesting。FF Final Fantasy 係啦 ，GG 嗰啲啊 ，No foul language in my class，OK？If not, I can delete all your participation mark，OK？All in a second， 1秒鐘我將你全部 participation mark 歸零啊嚇 ，OK？DM direct I don't know 話呢啲 short form 啦，紅都面晒係啦，呢個係啦，即係好尷尬，或者唔知點回應咁就會講呢個嘢啦 ，OK？ 係啦，YOLO 係啦 ，YO 係啦嚇，呢一個停止啦，唔好再加，我見到嗰度數字不斷仲加緊啊嚇 ，Stop it，OK？GG。因為我要俾完分，我要播片講書啊，兩盒 fans 先要講好，但係完啦終於。So you know that we have different kinds of slang, okay? Sometimes we mix it with Chinese and English. Sometimes it's just simply Chinese and sometimes it's English, okay? That is quite interesting, okay, in our class. And in English, actually, we have different kinds of slang. Due to limited time, if you want to learn more, you can play these two videos. But I will play these videos to you later. So for example, break a leg, okay, 即係good luck 啦 ，OK，mate，OK， 即係好朋友啦 ，OK，呢度 tricky 係啦 ，do something disrespectful， 跟住呢度就係cheesy 係啦 ，cheap or trick， 即係好平啦。咁所以我想播呢條片講一講廣東話嘅 slang 啊，等等我下，等等要開翻個 YouTube 先，嚟啦。等等好慢，等等你慢啲講。小姐，你今日個樣做咩咁瘦啊？唉，媽咪今日叫我去買啲茄哩瓜粒嘅嘢，咁跟住咧，咁我咪照佢個意思攞佢張卡的卡買好多嘢翻嚟咯。你唔係啊嘛？係啊，跟住無啦啦我翻到屋企就俾佢鬧啦，我都唔知點解。Hello， 大家好，
歡迎收睇今集嘅泳山頻道。係啦，我哋今日要學嘅就係廣東話嘅 slang 啦。正所謂普通話有波坡摩科，我哋廣東話亦都有輕輕學學。普通話有得特呢啦，我哋廣東話亦都有嘻嘻呵呵。佢哋有吱吱，我哋有嗱嗱冧，佢哋有吱吱絲語，我哋有棘力夸啦。佢哋有安恩安，我哋有冚唪唥；佢哋有安恩安，我哋有茄喱啡。咁我哋呢啲字又點樣用呢？我哋會用輕輕冚冚嚟到形容一啲突然之間一次過嚟應付唔到嘅情況，例如 everything came 輕輕冚冚 ，I did not know what to do。我哋會用嘻嘻呵呵嚟到形容一啲好趕好趕、好急好急、好快好快嘅情況，例如 during rush hour people come and go 嘻嘻呵呵。我哋會用嗱嗱冧去叫人快啲做一件事，例如 you better 嗱嗱冧 finish it up，OK？People are waiting。又或者好簡單咁樣叫人嗱嗱冧啦，嗱嗱冧啦。棘力夸啦嘅意思唔係 credit card， 我哋會用棘力夸啦嚟到形容一啲好瑣碎嘅事情，例如 Today I had to go buy pens and pencils and erasers and staplers and all the other 棘力夸啦 things。冚唪唥即係所有全部一起嘅意思。例如 Why are you so late? They 冚唪唥 go already。我哋會用茄喱啡嚟到形容一啲唔係幾重要、冇乜影響力嘅人。如果有人問你 Hey, why aren't you doing your job properly？ 咁你就可以同佢講 Hey man, I'm just a 茄喱啡 ，OK？ 係啦，以上所講過嘅咧都係廣東話好常用嘅字眼。
Okay, so I think this is a very interesting videos to outline some of the slang in our daily life, okay, in a very interactive way. So you got it. So now we move on. 好，咁呢度啦。Actually, sometimes why we need to speak by using slang because you can get close to one another. Okay, it's quite trendy, and then you can speak the same language with the other party. 點解我哋用 slang 咧？就係一個潮流文化啦，同埋你覺得同人哋好有親密感 get close 㗎，大家都係 speak the same language. Okay, it can be seen as and for languages actually, it can affect the way we think and see things. 點解好多時候做功課要大家文字寫出嚟咧？就係其實係將你嘅思路整理嘅 language, perceptions and thoughts. Okay, you need to organize how you think in order to put it down in languages, no matter in Chinese or English. Okay, that can be seen as a thinking process. And besides that, different cultural groups may use different language in different ways. For example, some students are a bit naughty, they use foul language. And some industry within the society, they love to speak foul language. For example, the construction industry. I don't have bias, but that is the reality. 有啲行業佢哋係習慣咗講粗口嘅，咁呢個係佢哋嘅文化，咁即係語言其實反映咗嗰一個群組嘅人嘅文化嚟嘅 ，OK？ And besides, sometimes the language can also create barriers between different cultural groups. Think about the way doctors or lawyers speak. The doctors, when they talk to one another, maybe they have many slang. If you are not part of them, you can't even understand what they are talking about, right? OK? 有啲語言嘅運用，例如大家係醫生嘅群組或者律師嘅專業群組，佢哋講有啲用字啊、表達嘅方式咧，你局外人你係聽唔明㗎。咁呢個都代表咗佢自己㗎 ，representing 我哋 can create a barriers to bar out the outsider。OK？ 唔係我哋呢個行業嘅，你聽唔明係正常。我哋自己傾翻自己嘅嘢。OK？ So those can be the use of language within a society. It can express your ideas, okay, it's a thinking process. It can also representing a cultural group. Furthermore, it can create barriers, okay, when you try to interact with one another. 好，翻嚟呢度。So now we are still on page one. Within the languages, actually we have four different components. Four different components. For English language, 我呢度先睇睇先啊。In order to form a sentence, what kind of 呢個唔好一陣先講，我講咗先。We have four kinds of component: PS, 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 PS. Okay, let's start from top. Semantics. Okay, semantics in Chinese that means the meaning of that word. Okay, for example, the textbook said that chair 一張凳係咩意思咧？就係可能係用唔同嘅物料做起上嚟可以俾人坐嘅一個物件。OK。係啦，就係嗰個字嘅意思，語義。The second one called syntactic 句法 ，that means the grammars, the rules, okay, that you try to construct your sentence. In here, the red car smashed into the blue car should be different from the blue car smashed into the red car. 雖然兩句係一樣，但係一調轉咗嗰個名詞嘅位置咧，個意思就唔同啦。紅色車像向藍色車，如果我將藍色車像向紅色車就係完全另外一個意思啦。OK，the structure of the sentence 句法 Thirdly, pragmatic. Okay, pragmatic that means 語用法，你用嗰句嘢究竟實質嘅意思。Okay. For example, when you go for shopping with your friends, okay, 你同你可能兩個女仔去買衫啦 okay, the way you try to express the same sentence, even the same wordings with a different tone can have a different meaning. I will demonstrate it. That outfit looks awesome on you. That outfit looks awesome on you. Okay, 嗱，可能你同你朋友去買衫啦，咁可能有兩個語氣會講啦，哇，嗰件衫真係好啱你啊！嗱，語氣一，語氣二，嗰件衫真係好啱你喎。嗱，我講緊同一句嘢，但係我個語調，我個意思就透過我講嘢嘅語調而變咗啦。That's the meaning of pragmatic. Okay, you are still saying the same sentence, but actually when you change the tone of voice, okay, you get a totally different meanings. 好。Is it clear about pragmatic? If you are all right with this, please press yes. 大家如果呢個點明就 press yes 啊，唔該好。And in here for phonetics 即係語言學 ，OK? That means the pronunciations 你點樣講嗰個語言啦 ，OK? 好，咁我哋先嚟呢度先。等我開先。For semantic in here, even in Chinese, OK? We have these examples. 你去左邊同埋你去左邊 ，OK？ 左係 that means left hand side， 左係 where are you？OK？ The exact location，OK？ Can lead to a different meanings。左同左係兩個意思嚟嘅。好 ，and now I move on to this one. Semantics is the structure of the language. OK？ Within an English sentence, what do we need to add up in order to form a complete sentence？Please type it out through public chat. 你要點樣先可以有個完整句子英文基本文法 ？Anyone? Verb, yes. Any other? Besides, you need to have a verb on it. Any others? SVO, yes. Subject, verb, object, yes. Correct. Stop there, please. 停止啦 ，OK？ 我截咗字啦 ，OK？ 咁所以就係即係你見到一個句子嘅結構，你係需要有一啲骨幹嘅啦。例如英語嘅文法就係你有 verb、object 同 subject 啦。You can add your adjective, you can have your prepositions, you can have your synonym 係啦 the other stuff。但係你最主要骨幹呢啲你係要有嘅 ，OK？ 咁先成為一個完整嘅句子。你等我俾一分先啊，好忙碌啊。因為一陣間咧就要去 tutorial， 所以我而家要即刻打埋分啊。好，subject yes 係啦，呢個係啦，跟住就呢個嘅係等等我好快，係啦，好都嗰節自己字啦。咁所以就係 every different kinds of languages have different kinds of structure. And for English, the major difference between Chinese and English, anyone know that? Why sometimes it's very difficult for us to learn English? 點解我哋中國人有時係好難去學英文咧？知唔知英文有啲咩嘅元素我哋係冇㗎 ？Anyone know that? English have one thing, but we don't have it. No matter when we speak, okay, or no matter when we write sometimes, okay, we don't have that elements. Anyone? Yes, tenses, correct, okay. 你英文講有過去進行式、過去進行式、現在式、將來式，我哋好少講㗎，係啦，即係我哋中文冇呢樣元素啊，所以即係中國人去學 tenses 咧係比較困難啲 ，okay，but you can remember it， 有啲 formula 㗎 ，okay。好，咁呢度唔多講，因為 because this is not an English class, I will not drill further。好，就係咁啦 ，grammar、tenses 啦、article 啦、question format 啦、affirmative 啦、noun 啦 ，OK，passive、active voice 啦、passive voice 啦，咁呢啲都會影響你個做 adverb 啦，你嗰個造句嘅句式嘅。好，唔好意思，咁呢度例如啦，我哋一定贏 ，OK， 我哋一定係咪一定先 ？OK，action 好。And in here, syntactics 嘅嗰個字嘅用法啦 ，OK？I love and I am in love，OK？If I add something in between, it's another story，OK？我中意同我喺戀愛當中嚇，雖然都係 I love， 但係呢度加到 I am in love 就個意思好唔同啦。好，呢度啦。Pragmatic 就係頭先我舉咗個例子啦。When you go shopping with your friends, okay, when you try to tell her whether the outfit is good or bad, okay. Another demonstrations, okay. For example, you are working in your workplace and you just finish a project, and your colleagues try to say thank you to you. I will demonstrate it in Cantonese. 唔該晒你啊，唔該晒你喎，唔該喎 ，OK。I'm still saying thank you about, I try to acknowledge your contributions for completing this group project at my workplace, but you can sense the emotion when I try to speak to you, okay? 唔該，係啦，唔該晒 very sincere, very positive. You're trying to thank the other party from your heart. 唔該晒喎，唔該喎 ，okay? You may have some negative emotion actually, okay? 係啦，Louis, it is an international high recognition. 我唔係幾明你嘅意思喎，你係咪問英文係咪一個國際公認嘅語言啊？係啊，係啦，好。同埋sometimes when we try to express your message, nowadays we are always using emoji. But sometimes different people, when they try to interpret emoji, can lead to another meaning. 每人睇同一個 emoji 公仔咧，其實有時個意思都會唔同㗎，咁又有拗撬啦。OK， 好。And lastly, phonetics. 頭先我語音學或者語言學啦。Okay, how you say that word? Okay, in English, if you want to have good pronunciations, you should learn this. Okay， 即係唔同嘅英語嘅拼音嘅音標啦。OK， 係啦。Sadly, in Hong Kong, we don't have this kind of training. But in overseas, for the native speaker, when they study in kindergarten, they have some songs to teach them phonetics. 嗱，我想俾大家聽一聽嗰啲歌啊嚇，即係佢有教你英文點樣去發音，有啲歌嘅，唔係 A B C D E F G 喎，係另外有一啲歌係教你點樣發音英文嘅喎。香港教育坦白講，我作為香港嘅一個老師，我都覺得好失敗。幼稚園竟然唔教人點樣英文發音。好，大家睇睇。快少少啊！
You go first. No, you go first. Okay, then let's introduce each other. I am A. I make the sound cat. I am short vowel A.
Okay, it's my turn. I am E. I make the sound red. Red. I am short vowel E.
Okay, that's the way the others people learn English countries。OK， 即係外國人通常學英文，佢就咁樣去學發音㗎啦。OK， 係啦，咁香港係唔係咁樣去學嘅？我都唔知點解嚇。好，咁所以就即係呢個少少分享。Even in 普通話 ，OK， we have phonetics，OK， 波波摩科 OK， 聲母表、韻母表 ，OK，that's phonetics. How you speak that language, pronunciations. So when we talk about languages, OK, the four major elements are semantics, syntactics, pragmatic, and phonetics. 好 ，and you may ask why do we need to study linguistics？ 點解要學語言學咧？好無謂啊！其實今日堂課成堂都講 linguistics。You can actually study this program in the university if you fancy languages. Okay, I want to tell you what does it mean？ 咩叫語言學咧？我哋成課書今堂講 language studies 喎，究竟讀啲咩嘅咧？我而家播條片俾大家睇睇下。等等我，係好開。
Linguistics is the study of language, and that's important because language is everywhere. So we use it to socialize, we use it to work, we use it to consume art and literature, we use it to be funny.
Linguistics is huge, it's a vast field, but we study not necessarily any one language, but how language as a whole comes together. So the sound patterns of languages, the grammars of languages, how people communicate, how we understand what words mean, what phrases mean.
We can also study how children acquire language, how our language is represented in the brain, how the languages share many interesting areas that you can approach.
Everyone should study linguistics because we all speak a language, but we don't spend a lot of time thinking about how that language works.
That's especially true for a young person growing up in today's world, especially in Canada, where there's a lot of immigration and a lot of contact between people who are speaking different languages. It's easy to take for granted how much language is around us and how much we use it until, let's say, you travel to a new place and you can't speak. Nobody understands what you say, and you can't understand what they're saying.
More recently, we're able to use many different methods to study the grammatical properties of sentences, especially with the interdisciplinary approach that linguistics is taking. We interact with psychology, computer science, and philosophy, so we're able to learn methods from those fields.
It's definitely an exciting time to be a linguist. The emergence of technology nowadays, more and more, we're having a lot more linguistic contact with our machines.
Many of our students go on to do advanced degrees in speech pathology, so they're interested in working with children and adults with problems in their speech or language. People can work for government agencies. They could be translators, they could work on code breaking.
Might be working in a hospital. So for people who've had a stroke and have a lot of trouble hearing or producing speech.
There's a huge diversity among the world's languages, but then it turns out that all languages have certain things in common, and we're often trying to understand the facts that are true about all languages and the things that make us all a little bit different.
It tells us about who we are as human beings. Ability to learn and speak language is a unique human property. So by studying linguistics, you'll get to learn more about yourself.
You're going to learn a lot about how languages work and how it's used and how we learn them and how they evolve. And so as long as you have a passion for languages, then you'll have a passion for linguistics.
Okay, 咁大家有個概念啦。For this video, I think it's very good to tell you what does it mean by linguistic. Okay, so now we just finished page 1. Okay, 咁我哋繼續落去啦。For page 2, guys, okay. Now we talk about language and perception. 你點睇唔同嘅語言啦？頭先講到語言學就講啦，究竟你唔同嘅人睇同一個語言有咩諗法啦？或者你自己自身係可能中國人，你點睇嗰個語言咧 ？And we have the following key terms. 嗱，我先講呢一個 language acquisition， 修改一個語言。咩叫修改一個語言咧？ That means you are trying to learn another language. The process of learning language. For example, nowadays you guys are still learning English. Okay, you are still conducting the language acquisitions of English, okay, nowadays in your school life. And in here, we have this one. Relativist positions. Relativist positions. That means the way you speak can actually shape the perceptions and culture patterns within a society. 你點樣講嘢係會建構個社會嘅文化體制嘅。For example, some countries, the way that male and female speak are slightly different because they want to secure the high status or ego of the male group, okay? So that can be an example of relativist positions. 係啦，咁呢一個咧qualifies relativist positions means, okay, for those people they may think that language is a tool, okay? 即係啲人覺得語言係一個溝通嘅橋梁，係一個工具嚟嘅。呢個就係去鞏固翻自己社會文化嗰個嘅 pattern， 中文叫咩咧？嗰個嘅規矩係啦。And that's one nominalist positions, okay? How you try to view a language, okay? 即係你點樣去睇一個特定嘅語言啦 ，OK？ The perception is not shaped by particular language one speak。即係同埋你覺得actually how you view a language is not depending on who you speak it。即係你點樣去睇嗰個地方嘅方言咧？唔係根據邊個人講去決定嘅 nominalist positions。好 ，my questions. As I mentioned before at the beginning of this lecture, in the world we have more than 7,000 languages, right? Which is the most difficult language to learn? 有冇人知道即係最難學嘅語言係咩語言啊 ？If you know the answers, please type it out through public chat. Public chat. Cantonese, very close, very close, very, very close. Not yet get it correct. 語言咧唔係會話啊，我講緊你咩語言最難學啊？語言 ，not the speaking. Chinese, yes, Brian got it. 中文其實係最難學㗎，即係咁多種語言嚟講 ，because we are not using alphabet， 我哋唔係用字母嗰啲去拼建我哋嘅語言，你見唔見到 ？OK， 係啦，嗰啲係你講嘅會話。無論你普通話又好，廣東話都好，都係中文。我嘅 language is 中文 ，OK？ 好，咁所以就係正確答案係中文。中文咧其實係好難學㗎。You need to remember the shape of that words, OK? And you, actually each part have an understanding. 每一 part 都有唔同嘅意思。例如個河字 river in Chinese, the three dots actually is interpreted into water, OK? The other languages may not have this kind of beauty. So actually, given that in this class right now we are all Chinese, you can learn Chinese. Actually, you have no excuses and said that you can't learn English. English is a very easy learning language as well, compared with Chinese. 英文對比中文係易學10倍，但係 the trick is that you need to remember the grammatical rules。你要記得佢嘅文化嘅一啲拼配咯，因為佢英文一定語法係咁寫啦，咁係背嘅啫，其實。Okay, the trick is that you need to remember it. Okay, so no excuses when you try to improve your English. Although it's not easy, but actually the way to learn is not as difficult as you think. 好，咁跟住我哋落嚟下低啦喎，係，咁呢度啦，講 metaphor 啦，暗語 ，OK。You may not try to say out the real meanings, okay? You may use metaphor. My questions: why we don't say it directly sometimes? 點解我哋要隱喻，我哋唔直接講出嗰件事嘅真諦咧 ？Why we need to use metaphor in our daily life? 點解要暗喻咧？我唔點樣明示咧嚇 ？That's my questions. If you knew the answers, you can type it out through public chat. Why we need to apply this kind of communication style in our daily life? Using metaphor when we try to 係啦，即係太直接啦，係啦 ，save face 啦，係啦，婉轉啲有禮貌啲啦，係啦，唔想傷害啲人咧，尊重人哋啦，係啦。And you want to reduce the embarrassing, okay, situations， 你唔想即係令人尷尬啦。咁呢啲都係點解我哋有時畫公仔唔好畫出腸就係咁解啦。OK，avoid embarrassment。咁所以我呢度我俾一俾分先啊，等等我。有時太直接就唔係咁好啦，即係傷我感情啊就會 OK， 跟住就留面子啦，等人哋唔好咁尷尬啦，有禮貌啲啦，即係可能講嘢係啦，跟住就係啦，有時係 hurtful 嘅，即係你好直接咁去講嗰個意思嚇，係啦，尊重大家啦，係啦，尊重大家啦，係，跟住就係啦，即係想佢再反思一下就Louis 嗰個點啦，係啦，跟住就係係啦，減低嗰個尷尬感啦，即係費事講到咁直啦、咁白啦。OK， 好，咁咧嗱，我想大家諗下一啲例子啊。OK，in English, for example, in here, Ben, if I try to say it simple, Ben is running very quickly. OK， 阿 Ben very fast， 阿 Ben 走得好快啦。咁呢個係直述句咯。OK， 暗語句子 ，Ben was cheated at the race today。阿 Ben 好似夾隻炮咁啊跑路。OK。我唔話阿 Ben 跑路好快，我話阿 Ben 快到好似隻炮咁跑好快，大家都知道個意思啦。OK。And later I will ask you to give examples for participation mark。嗱，另一個例子，和尚打傘即係和尚擔遮。Anyone know the meaning of 和尚擔遮 ？If a monk is holding an umbrella, do you know the hidden meaning of it？ 無法無天啊，係啦，要 got it。OK。So now for participation mark。I want you to give me some examples in terms of metaphor that you know. I think in English or Chinese would be fine. 究竟中英文我哋講嘢嘅時候有啲咩隱語常用句子咧？大家麻煩俾啲例子 ，OK？ 係啦，床下底斬柴係咩意思？呢個未聽過。床下底斬柴啊 ，That's so difficult。係啦，泥菩薩過江啦，自身難保啦，你自己都搞唔掂，你講乜嘢係咪先？係啦，撞板係隱語咩？都好直接喎，佢撞咗板喎 ，OK？係啦 ，that is quite direct actually. Any other metaphor？ 好多個喎，其他同學咧，床下底劈柴 is 撞板，係啞巴吃係啦，啞巴吃黃連有苦自己知啦，係啦，阿茂整餅啦，即係不知所謂啦，即係話佢係啦。有冇其他啊？神仙打交呢個我唔識喎，教下我中文好嘛？各位同學，嗱我俾住翻先，你繼續俾打住字先啊嚇！泥菩薩過江，個床下底劈柴我真係未聽過，唔好意思。係啦，泥菩薩過江呢個係啦，跟住就啞巴吃黃連呢個係啦，即係你唔講佢苦過弟弟啦，係啦，跟住就阿茂整餅啦，係啦，呢個跟住神仙打交係咩？呢個我唔識喎，Anna 係啦，我唔識喎呢個係啦，豬乸都會上樹，即係冇可能啦！你豬乸都識上樹係咪先？係啦，呢個好明顯係暗語啦。OK， 即係太陽由西邊升起嗰啲咁咧，係啦，貌似女開燈咩意思啊 ？Griffin 我唔識喎，貌似女開燈啊！阿崩叫㗎係啦，越叫越走啦，係啦 ，OK， 係啦，呢個係啦。跟住就Griffin， 你麻煩你一陣間要解釋下，我唔識啊，係啦。 牛皮燈係點極都唔明嘅，講極都唔明嘅，點得着佢咧 ？OK， 係啦，呢個好明顯係metaphor 啦，跟住就牛皮燈籠係啦，牛皮燈籠，跟住就狗咬呂洞賓，呢個我唔記得下聯係咩？阿 Rachel 啊，狗咬呂洞賓下一句係咩啊？係啦，即係麻煩補充少少啊，係啦，打完齋唔要和尚係啦，即係過橋抽板咧，你利用完人就算啦 ，OK？ 嗱，停止啦！我哋而家個 new message 30，我唔要見到跳到去31啊，31嗰個我唔計啊已經嚇 ，OK？ 跟最後嗰個，咁我睇埋先，打完齋唔要和尚呢個係嘅，呢個係 metaphor。跟住落去先，an apple a day 係啦，即係每日一蘋果，醫生遠離我啦，係啦 ，an apple a day，OK？ 咁呢一個都係個即係隱喻啦 ，OK？ 一啲好嘅習慣你要繼續去。水瓜打狗，非洲和尚係啦，黑人憎啦，係啦，即係呢啲就跟住睇先。閻羅王嫁女呢個係咩意思啊？我聽過，但我一時唔醒起個意思啊。閻羅王嫁女，麻煩可唔可以解釋一下，補充少少？10月芥菜即係春心蕩漾啦，係 OK， 我估係咁嘅意思啦。OK， 好秀才遇着兵呢個我唔識喎，我聽過，但我唔係幾知佢個暗語。豬八戒照鏡嘅暗語係咩啊？可唔可以補充少少啊？係啦，老公潑扇潑風凄涼，我話呢個 OK interesting。老公潑扇凄涼 OK。壽星公吊頸即係咩意思啊？係啦，冇毛雞打交。好深喎，大家你哋呢班講嗰啲 metaphor 我唔識嘅，點解？好深啊，係啊，可唔可以解釋一下？鑽牛角尖，鑽牛角尖係咪隱喻咧？即係諗唔通啦，係咪？係啦。OK， 米棍老教仔即係點？呢個唔識喎，係啦。畫蛇添足，係啦，多此一舉，係啦。呢個成語嚟㗎，唔單止係 metaphor 啦，畫蛇添足。等等啊嘛，好深啊！大家嗰啲壽星公吊頸係咩意思啊？我解釋下，茅廁女打燈找屎 ，OK？ 原來係咁嘅意思。好，潮州音樂即係咩意思咧？呢個KC Channel 你嗰啲暗語我好多都未聽過。陳年山草藥噏得就噏啦，我哋話陳年中草藥啦，係啦，噏得噏啦，係啦。跟住就不識停止啦，唔好再講啦，43啊！不識好人心呢個係暗語咩？好直接話佢不識好人心啫喎，係咯。Okay， 狗咬狗骨，狗咬狗骨。OK， 撞鬼要，我閻羅王嫁女係撞鬼要 ，interesting， 好，揾鬼要 ，OK。秀才遇上兵，即有口說不清 ，OK。豬八戒照鏡兩面不是人哦，哇呢個我真係唔識喎，我覺得中文好 ，OK。嫌命長，閻羅王嫁女 ，OK。冇毛雞，大家係啖啖肉，點啖啖肉啊？兩隻雞蛋加點啖啖肉咧？我知大家咬到大家啖啖肉啊 ，OK，interesting。係啦，壽星公吊頸，嫌命長，好。大家我相信 after this discussion you got it， 好，繼續落去啊。嗱呢度要用啲腦汁㗎，我而家講 high-low context 啊，係啦。狗咬呂洞賓，不識好人心 ，OK， 好多謝大家，多謝你喚醒我嘅中文啊嚇，係啦，講真我真係中5之後冇讀過中文啊，係啊，好，咁我翻嚟先。In here， 雖然我讀中文中學 ，so in here，培正都係名校啊。high context, low context。嗱，呢個我想大家明咗個意思先 ，because many students mix up the meaning of high, low context. This is a very classic communication theories in this subject field. For high context, normally is much more rich, and you use more non-verbal cues to express your message content. 呢個咧同呢個最大嘅分別 ，high context 係用好多非文字嘅傳譯嘅。眉頭眼額，令到嗰個溝通係更加豐富就係 high context 啊。 令到個資訊更加豐富嘅就 high context。low context 就調翻轉係 words driven， 你好直接講嗰個字就算噶啦，冇其他非文字嘅元素去豐富嗰件事嘅就係 low context 啦。好。And besides that, the way you try to talk to one another, we care about the communication style. 我哋好緊張你同對方講嘢個風格，人哋接唔接受你 ？OK？ Please underline these terms we call meta message. OK? Meta message means the way you speak actually you try to affect the other side reactions. 你講嗰個對話咧，其實你想影響對方對你嘅回應嘅。Okay, how actually you try to affect the way the other side try to respond to your message. Meta message. 好 ，and in here actually as you can see, okay， 嗱有3種嘅溝通嘅風格嘅，大家呢一張紙你可以睇一睇就知啦。High low context 啦，頭先我講咗啦，有呢個 direct 同 indirect， 應該我再講講。有 elaborate 同 understate， 有呢3種嘅同人溝通嘅方式嘅 ，OK。Direct, okay, as I mentioned before, is very straight to the point. Okay, you use more words rather than non-verbal cues. 好直接，我講乜就去嗰個點㗎啦，我唔廢話，亦都冇一啲眉頭眼額要人家去睇嘅。Okay. On the other hand, we have high context. Okay， 你可能講有轉彎抹角啊，用好多非文字嘅演繹啊，可能嬲豬啊、喊啊、唔出聲啊、緘默啊咁呢啲。Okay，high context is much more complicated.And you can interpret more messages through this kind of communication format. OK， 係啦。咁我想播一播嗰個一陣間先播片啊。係好，就呢度啦。So why sometimes we need to use high context, sometimes we need to use low context. My questions, my statement. Is it every time we should stick with high context or low context? 係咪我哋日常生活中通常每次同一個情況 ，every time when we face the same situations, we should use the same context of communication style. Is it a yes or no? 係咪每次面對一個情況，我哋都係既定用同一種嘅 context 嘅 way 去同人講嘢咧 ？Yes or no？ 請 press the button. Don't type out. Please press the button 啊。If I ask you to answer me yes or no, please press the button. OK？ 係啦，係唔係啦？ So actually, you need to be flexible, okay, and try to understand the facing situations just before you go for high context or low context, okay. Normally, as I mentioned before, high context is more roundabout, 更加圓滑啦講嘢 and you care more about the relationship. You don't want to hurt the others. You don't want to be disrespectful when you try to talk to one another, okay.And you care about the we rather than I, okay? It's more collectivistic, okay? 即係你係顧全大局多啲嘅 rather than 你自己去主動。Low context 真係直接啲㗎啦，直接講出你想要啲咩 ，what you try to say, okay? You try to take the lead, okay? 你想你自己揸 fit 嘅，講嘢主導權嘅 ，okay? You just try to exchange the information, the fact， 好直接我俾資訊你，唔需要咁多情感嘅輸入㗎啦 ，okay? Low context。And the use of I, okay, you care about your own self, okay? High, low context, high, low context. 好，就呢度啦。就一個係即係主要係文字啦、資料啦、意見啦，呢一個就係 development driven 嘅 high context。好，咁咧嗱，而家我想大家諗一下嗱，呢個你麻煩用 public chat 度答我嚇 ，OK？In here, actually, some of the countries tends to be high 嗱，大家撳掣啊，唔該啦。High context 麻煩撳綠色掣 ，low context 麻煩撳紅色掣啊嚇 ，OK？And we will go through some of the countries in here。好，先講講 USA。USA sounds to be high context or low context。High context 綠色掣 ，low context 紅色掣。美國人講嘢，你覺得係切合 high context 多啲啊，定 low context 麻煩撳掣啊嚇 ？Low context 係紅色掣啊嚇 ，OK？ 10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘。Actually, for the USA, okay, they are quite straightforward. Okay, they care about themselves a bit more. Okay, individualistic. They're human rights. 你知美國人就係個人主義化啦，我唔得閒同你嘥時間啦 ，straight to the point 啦。所以美國人咧係 low context 嘅 ，OK， 直接講嗰句嘢就算啦。好，另一個。How about Japan? It tends to be high context or low context, guys. Okay. 日本人同你講嘢，你覺得係 high context 多啲啊，定係 low context 多啲啊？ Japanese, okay, in Japan, okay, the way you talk to one another, okay. 10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘。好。The correct answer is high context, okay? They care about the hierarchy, the way they speak to the elderly, the way they speak to different gender is different， 好圓滑嘅，有晒規章性嘅 ，okay? My questions, how about China? It tends to be high context or low context. China 嚇，中國嚇。Given that we are Chinese, right? Okay. 中國人講嘢，你覺得偏向 high context 定係 low context 多啲咧 ？OK. 10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘。Yes, it tends to be high context, correct? Okay. We don't prefer direct, OK， 即係我哋要面面俱圓咁啊，成日話講嘢 ，OK， 咁呢個都係一個嘅例子。啊，另外一個我想大家諗一下嘅。How about UK? UK tends to be high context or low context. UK 啊嚇，英國你覺得英國人講嘢係 high context or low context 啊？10、9、9.5、8、8.5、7、7.5、6、6.55、5.5、4、4.5、3、3.5、2、2.5、1、1.5、0、0.50 ，OK？ 8對9嚇 ，OK？Actually for the British, they are straight to the point, okay? So for UK people tends to be low context, okay? 即係佢直接講出佢自己。通常好多西方國家都係 low context 㗎 guys, okay? For most of the Asian countries, it tends to be high context, okay? But for places like Greece and Spain， 嗱呢啲比較即係呢啲地方咧就比較係 high context 嘅，希臘同埋呢個西班牙 ，OK？ 好，咁我哋繼續落去咯喎，等我落去先。係啦，咁呢度就係咁啦。High context 就好複雜嘅講嘅，你見到嚇。呢度你講到啦 ，low context 就有 US 啦、UK 啦、Canada 啦、Germany 啦 ，OK？They should be grouped under here. However, for some countries like China, Japan, France, Saudi Arabia 即係沙地阿拉伯 ，OK？ 咁嗰啲地方就係通常要 high context 嘅。好。咁頭先講到啦，嗱，我想講多少少先放 break 啊，唔好意思啊，因為我唔想斷咗個 high low context 同 metaphor 啊。好。咁呢一度大家睇睇，呢一個我想大家試下撳掣啊 ，high 又係綠色 ，low context 就係紅色嚇。In your workplace, let's say you are working in a Chinese-owned company. When you are talking to a Chinese colleagues in your pantry, okay? What kind of communication style do you prefer? High context or low context? 你喺中國人公司做工，你喺茶水間同一個中國同事講緊人哋是非，咁你覺得通常你嗰個取態係用 high context 定 low context 咧？10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘 Yes, it should be high context。你講人是非梗係肉緊啦，加鹽加醋有晒表情㗎啦，語調又會變化啦。OK， 中國人公司中國人嘅同事咁梗係 high context 啦。OK， 好，第二個情況啦喎。OK，I have another situations to test your knowledge, guys. OK，when you need to hold a meeting with a foreigner， 你同一個外國嘅客戶好正規咁樣去開一個會。OK。In this kind of settings, you should use high context or low context communication style. High context or low context. 10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，最後5秒5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘 Yes, the correct answer should be low context, okay? Meetings very formal, okay? And that person is a foreigner, okay? 即係外國人講嘢係直接到位啦，美國人啊，仲要開會咁緊張嘅時間，冇時間吹廢水㗎啦，冇時間有情感嘅觸動或者啲非文字嘅詮釋㗎，所以就係 low context 啦 ，OK？ 好 ，you got it。等等我，最後講埋呢個點先放 break 啊，唔好意思，我要講埋呢個先，就呢個 meta message 啦。Okay, meta message, that means the way you talk to the other side. Actually, you try to influence their response. 你點樣去講嘢，其實你想影響對方對你嘅回應嘅，OK？例如，OK，this is a couple，呢一對係一 pair 情侶啦。咁可能個女仔，OK，the girls ask the gentleman why you don't call me，OK？點解你唔打俾我？OK，個男仔就講呢扎嘢啦。個男人 ，I was just getting busy. I'm missing you always. I'm still caring about you. I love you so much. Okay. Sorry about my bad behavior. I will not do it again. I'm making a promise. Okay. 咁條氣順晒啦，即係佢咁樣答佢咧，就等佢唔好嬲，而佢唔係就忙得滯冇打俾你啊，咁嬲啦，反台啦，係咪先？係啦。So this is a very useful tips, okay? In your date of matter message, you are still saying the same thing, but how you express it can lead to a total different result, okay? 你點講係好影響你會去到一個咩嘅境地㗎嚇 ，OK？咁我而家有個少少嘅遊戲，大家想係啦，咁我停呢度停先，一間 break 翻嚟再講下。Let's head for a 10 minutes break， 10分鐘後翻嚟，跟住我哋繼續下 ，OK？ 等我瞄咗先。 係唔好意思，夠鐘啦，我哋繼續啦嚇，係啦。咁我想問大家有一條問題就係、Now we move on to direct and indirect communication style. For direct communication, it sounds to be referred to high context or low context. High context, please press the green button. Low context, please press the red button. According to your understanding, guys. Please press the button. 10、9、9.5、8、8.5、7、6.56、5.55、4.54、3.53、2.52、1.510夠鐘 ，OK？ 好 ，correct。It should be low context. You got it。所以你學嘅時候好簡單嘅啫。Direct style 通常就係 low context，indirect style 咧就係 high context 啦 ，OK？And for indirect actually。They may not tell the true meanings。佢唔會直接講出真實心裏面諗咩嘢㗎，婉轉啲嘅。OK，they may hide their intentions, their needs and wants for indirect。佢嘅 indirect 好間接啊嘛，咁佢要將心處裏面諗嘅嘢咧，佢可能會隱藏嘅。OK，so for direct communication, as you can see, straight to the point. OK，use wordings rather than non-verbal cues. OK，and they just say whatever they like. OK，佢真係真實情感流露嘅，直接講俾你聽。我嬲 ，OK。However, in the direct, OK, hide the speaker's true intentions, needs, wants, and desire, OK, not being truly honest, OK, and they don't want to hurt the relationship. 例如舉個例 for dating, OK, let's say when you guys are thinking for a place for your dinner, OK, and the guy may say that let's go for ramen, OK， 不如去let's go for McDonald's，OK， 突然之間個男仔可能話一齊食麥當勞啦嚇，咁個女仔可能答嘅時候，都好啦，我哋再行下先啦 ，OK， 都好啦嚇，即係唔係話好或者唔好啊嚇 ，OK，indirect communication，OK，so boys，OK，pay attention to the girls' indirect communications，try to understand their hidden feeling and hidden needs. If not, you will get into troubles, okay? In your daily dialogue with your boyfriend or girlfriend, okay? Indirect communications, you need to make a good balance. 好，咁有啲咩例子啊？大家睇睇下。Direct 可能話 What's your job？ 你做乜工㗎？婉轉啲我問你 Can I ask what industry you are working in？ OK， 好似好煩，但係長好多。等你慢慢去答。究竟你係做盛行㗎？你做乜㗎？究竟你係做邊個行業㗎 ？OK，Direct。Come to my office, please. 你直接嚟我辦公室啦 ，OK？If you are not busy now, could you please come to my office？ OK？ 如果你唔忙，麻煩你嚟我辦公室啦 ，OK？Direct， 開燈啦 ，turn on the light，OK？Indirect， would you mind turning on the light, please？ 你介唔介意我哋開燈啊 ？OK？ 好。Direct， OK？ 你排緊隊嘅時候 ，I was here first， 我喺度先㗎喎 ，OK？Indirect 就係 ，Sorry, excuse me, but I was here first. You can go after me。唔好意思，其實我喺呢度先嘅，你可以排我後面 ，OK？ 咁你見到其實都係同一個 message 嚟嘅喎 ，they are still saying the same message, but the content is different. For indirect, as you can see in general terms, it tends to have longer sentences， 用啲長啲嘅句子嘅，唔會直不甩咁好簡潔咁樣一嘢懟埋去嘅 ，OK？ 就係 indirect 啦 ，OK？ 好，咁我而家有啲小測試俾大家撳一撳掣嚇。嗱 ，direct 就係呢個嘅等等我 ，direct 係綠色掣 ，OK？Green。Indirect 紅色掣 ，OK？Let's take a look of the Singapore rejection， OK？Can my leave be approved? No，OK？ 嗱呢一隻咁樣，請按掣 ，it sounds to be direct or indirect for the Singapore 呢邊新加坡呢個。Direct 定 indirect 啊 ？Direct 係綠色掣啊 ，indirect 係紅色掣，係啦。10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，係啦，答對啦。It should be direct， 好直接唔得啊！我想攞㗎，唔得。睇下 Japanese 啦喎。Can my leave be approved? I think it will be difficult. Can you ask? It's not that difficult, right? The chances are very small. So can it be approved? Still difficult. 佢冇答唔得話好難啊，都好微啦機會，咁佢冇直接講話唔得喎，係啦，咁所以就呢個 direct 同 indirect 啦。Try to hide your true feelings，OK？ 好， 繼續落去啊 ，clear 咗先。下一個 page， 等等啊，係啦。咁呢個我想大家諗一下喺呢個情景啊 I tailor some situations in your daily life. Okay, when should we use direct or indirect style? Okay, in general terms, it sounds to be much more appropriate. 但一般情況嚟講，喺面對呢一個情景，你應該用 direct 定 indirect style 咧？好，第一個 ，building your working team within a short time frame, cost department base。喺短時間裡面，大家讀 event 啦，我要跨部門建立一個工作小組。咁你覺得你應該用 direct 定係 indirect style communication 咧 ？direct 係綠色掣 ，indirect 係紅色掣啊嚇。開始計時10、9、8、7、6，我喺第一題啊 statement 啊，5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘係啦。The correct answer should be direct. You don't have time. Okay, you don't have time to chit chat, okay, and then share your emotions, okay. You just tell them, let's form a team and get the job done, okay. So during rush schedule, especially cost department team building process, you should use direct, okay. That's quite common in the business world. 喺商業社會就係咁啦，時間就係金錢，我冇時間同你慢慢嗲，大家成個 team 搞掂佢啊！喺短時間裡面就係 direct 啦。好，第二個情況 ，OK，making quick business decision， 我好想快啲落到個商業決定嘅，你覺得用 direct 定係 indirect 好啲咧 ？direct 綠色掣 ，indirect 紅色掣，10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘好。It should be direct，OK， 快脆傾掂佢，跟住我哋決定啦嚇 ，OK。How about this one? Negotiating for a better deal。我想傾到一個好啲嘅買賣方案喎。We should use direct or indirect, OK? Communication style. Direct 係綠色掣 ，indirect 係紅色掣 ，OK? 10、9、9.5、9、8.5、8、7.5、7、6.5、6、5.5、5、4.5、4、3.5、3、2.5、2。1.51 0.50 okay, the correct answer should be indirect. Okay, it takes time for you to read the other person, and sometimes you may hide your true feelings in order to get the best options. 有時你即係好想買，但係你都唔表露情感啊。我諗下先啦。OK， 係啦，咁就係呢個啦。Negotiations 通常都用 indirect 嘅。好，最後呢個 staff appraisal. If you want your staff really listen to your message， 你想你員工真係喺評核嘅時候真心聽得到你叫佢改善嘅方案 ，OK？ In this situation, you should use direct or indirect。等等我 clear 先嚇，10、9、8、7，唔好意思啊，再撳過嚇。你去做你嘅員工評估，你想佢真係聽到佢要改善嘅地方 ，you should use direct or indirect，OK？ 10、9、8、7、6。5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘好。This one is a tricky one. Only one student get it correct. Actually, if you want somebody to listen to his weaknesses, you should not use direct approach. Okay, you should use indirect. Okay, you may try to acknowledge his or her contribution first, and then you try to tell her what to do by an example。 你可能好婉轉話俾人咁樣會好啲啦，你唔知你咁啦，係啦。Appraisal 就係通常有時我哋用 indirect 嘅，尤其是你想真係員工聽得入心，你叫佢改善啲咩嘢嘅時候，係啦，好，繼續啦喎，呢度。And lastly, besides high context, low context, direct and indirect, the last pair， 最後一個風格咧，頭先我哋講咗直接間接啦。High context 同 low context 啦，最後一隻就係 elaborate 同埋 understate style，OK？ 即係elaborate that means you try to express with very rich expressive language，OK？Understate it should be very simple or even you just shut up，OK？You remain silence，OK？ 咁我想問一問啦 ，elaborate it tends to be high context or low context。High 係綠色 ，low context 紅色。Elaborate 你覺得係 high context 定係 low context 啊？10、9、8、 7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘係啦。通常 elaborate 都係 high context 噶啦 ，OK？It tends to be much more indirect 啊 ，rich 即係佢都係即係啦，即係比較係high context，即係佢係 rich expressive language，OK？係啦，咁呢一個咧就係應該咁講，因為佢講 language 嗰度咧，如果我哋high context 就係非文字多啲啊嘛，但係呢個係 rich expressive language 啊 ，OK？ 所以咧其實佢呢個係 low context， 佢咧用好多文字去講嘅 ，OK？They use many languages to try to express the situations. So this one actually is low context, OK? This is high context, OK? 即係佢直情唔用文字去即係因為話呢一句嘢，如果楞翻落去 high context 咧，基本上就係 low context 嗰度啦。因為佢係用文字豐富嘅文字去表示佢想表達嘅嘢 ，OK？ 咁用文字多啲，我哋咪係講係 low context 咯，係啦，即係佢唔會用好多情感其他去 language oriented 嘅。一講 elaborate and understate actually is language focus. This one they use rich language. This one they just shut up or just use very simple sentence. OK？ 係啦，係啦，例如呢度。If somebody asks you how are you today， 你今日點啊 ？OK？Elaborate， 你講好多嘢用文字上 ，OK？I have a bad day as I broke up with my girlfriend due to blah 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 blah。Understand 唔想講簡潔嘅 ，I'm fine， 唔出聲 ，OK？ 咁就係個分別啦。好，咁啊呢度我有啲情景題要大家答一答啊嚇，唔好撳掣住。等等我 ，Elaborate 麻煩撳綠色掣啊 ，Understate 咧就麻煩撳紅色掣 ，OK？好，咁我哋打一條咯喎。You are attending a professional guest talk，OK？ 你去聽一個演講，你覺得What kind of communication style should a speaker use? Elaborate or understate？OK？Elaborate 就係綠色掣 ，understate 就係紅色掣 ，OK？ 10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘 ，OK？This one, the correct answer should be elaborate, OK? If the scarce speaker didn't elaborate, explain further, how can you understand the content in detail? 佢要解釋點解佢講呢番説話，而家例如佢講COVID-19 而家個趨勢係點樣，佢唔可以淨係簡潔哦。總之經濟就差啦，完咗，佢要解釋。有好多嘅資訊各樣嘢豐富成件事，所以咧通常咧演講咧就係用 elaborate 嘅 ，OK？ 好，第二題 ，You are fired from your boss， 你俾老闆炒咗。When you try to talk about these situations with your close friends， 嗱而家係你同你嘅兄弟同閨蜜講你被炒呢件魚事啊 ，Which communication style do you prefer? Elaborate or understate？ OK？開始撳掣啦，10、9、8、7、6、5、4 close friend 啊 ，not just hi bye friends or normal friend。4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘 ，OK？ Most of you prefer understate. I feel quite shocking. Okay, 3 of you go for elaborate. Actually, when you get close to your close friends, why they are your close friends? Because you don't feel shy to give that person's details, and you don't feel shy to talk more. 好朋友嘛，死黨閨蜜，我唔介意講啲詳情仔細啲話俾你聽㗎啦。咁所以咧，應該通常都係好多口水嘅啫。elaborate， 你普通朋友，我總之被炒啦，賴過算㗎啦。普通朋友 normal friend 咧 ，you should go for understate for most cases. So only 3 students get it correct. Okay for this one. 好，呢一題咧，大家好緊要㗎。When you try to have a date for your goddess， 你同你男神女神有個約會啦。However, you are late for your first date. So when you try to explain the situations, you should go for elaborate or understate style. Okay? Elaborate 係綠燈 ，OK？ understate 係紅色掣 ，OK？ 你應該點樣同你個女神或者男神解釋做乜你遲咗到咧，令到佢唔嬲咧 ？Which communication style should you select? Elaborate or understate? 好，10、 9得6個同學撳，係啦，我俾多少時間呢條難少少㗎嚇，10、9、9.5、8、8.57、7.56、6.54、4.53、3.52、2.51夠鐘 ，OK。Actually，a more suitable way should be elaborate。你要解釋，你咪就話唔好意思啊，多嘢做遲咗，好嬲啦。你應該解釋多少少，唔好意思啊，頭先掛住睇嘢，所以我就遲咗嚟。即係你唔好嬲我啦，我都盡量趕嚟㗎啦，講一大抽嘢 ，OK？You should go for elaborate rather than understate，OK？好，跟住呢一度 ，You have failed your math test in school. How should you tell your parents? Elaborate style or understate style？ 你數學測驗肥咗佬啦，你要同你阿爸阿媽講，你肥佬，你應該用邊一個方案會避免俾人鬧得勁啲咧？Elaborate or understate 啦，10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1、0，夠鐘。Understate is better，OK？你應該好簡單咁講，我盡咗力㗎啦，唔好意思，唔好講，我溫極都唔識啊嘛，啲考試題好難啊嘛，我仲唔知因為講一大抽藉口咧。咁到時你媽咪爹哋就更加嬲啦 ，OK？So you need to be flexible，OK？When you try to talk to different audience, you need to switch，OK？Even the same audience, when you are facing a different situations， 嗱，如果你攞100分，你攞100分，你會唔會用 understand？ 梗係唔會啦，100分嘅。哎呀，我讀得好辛苦㗎，我溫晒書先去考試㗎，梗係講一大抽嘢讚下自己先啦，係咪先 ？So actually, when the situations change。You need to switch your communication style accordingly. That is a very important piece of information. Not only in my course, but no matter you work for marketing or event or in your life, okay? Be flexible. 好，最後一個點，最後一個情景啦。You are getting engaged and you try to pass this good news to your close friends. 你啱啱訂咗婚啦，同你男朋友女朋友。咁我要同我嘅閨蜜死黨去分享呢件喜事，咁你應該用 elaborate 定係 understate 咧？好，10、9、9.5、8、8.5、8，好7.57、6.56、5.55、4.54、3.53、2.52、1.510 ，OK correct 係啦。咁開心嘅事梗係傾好多嘢，佢點同我投婚啊？佢準備啲乜？我好開心啦嚇。普通朋友就話：我同佢訂咗婚啦，到時嚟早啲嚟飲啦，完 ，OK？ 就係個分別啦 ，elaborate 同 understate 嘅分別。好 ，so this subject actually is very useful in your daily life, not only for for event management actually，OK？ 好，繼續嚟，好啦，過嚟。呢個唔重要，我飛一飛，有時間我講呢個概念，冇時間我飛，因為真係好唔重要，係啦。咁我講其他後面嗰啲先，仲緊要啲。好，please turn over to 呢個係 page， 等等我下。呢個係 page 5， 留意係 page 5 ，OK？ Actually, when you try to talk to one another, it's strongly related to your social position。你喺社會上面嘅地位係直接影響你講嘢嘅模式嘅 ，and the power that you are holding。OK？For example, think about lately due to COVID-19, right? Okay, many industries are suffering, and many industries also voice out and ask for the first round of subsidies from the government。嗱，大家見到而家咧保就業咪好多行業都同政府發聲嘅話，快啲第3輪補啦！雖然政府最後決定都係唔補嘅。However, some industry tends to have stronger power, especially for those who are suffering. For example, like the tourism industry， 旅遊業嗰啲咁鬼慘，你梗係即刻講咗大聲啲人理多啲啦。OK， 係啦，餐飲業啦，係啦 F&B 啦 ，OK，or retail， sadly the government doesn't care about the retail sector. I don't know why.Actually, they get hit hard. OK， 即係佢喺呢一個疫情，其實佢嗰個受衝擊嘅情況都好犀利㗎。但係咧，因為即係政府覺得佢唔重要，咁你覺得佢冇權勢啦，咁所以咧就冇理會到零售業啦。OK，so actually the power can actually affect whether the other side want to listen or not。OK， 聽唔聽啫？我唔敢講佢行唔行到啦。你冇 power，基本上佢聽都唔鬼聽啦。好，就係咁嘅意思。 So actually, social power means okay, the gender, the race, the class, the age, the roles that you play。頭先行業每個行業有唔同角色㗎，咁旅遊業梗係緊要啦，四大支柱之一。OK，tourism is one of the 4 pillars within the Hong Kong economic system。OK，so that's why the government stay tuned。OK，個 sexuality 即係你係同性戀、異性戀定雙性戀。OK，homosexual、bisexual or 係啦 ，homosexual 同 bisexual，yes，OK，就咁啦。下一張 size， 好，就呢度啦。我頭先講嗰個 labeling effect 係啦，就係你喺社會嗰個身份咯。Whether people will listen to you or not， 係呢個頭先講咗啦。好，呢一度大家我想睇睇。好。In here, I have an example. So I want you to think about. Sometimes some people get labelled by somebody. OK， 有啲人你會標籤咗佢係咁樣，或者有啲特別嘅叫法叫呢班人嘅。OK。Can you try to tell me some labels of Hong Kongers？ 我哋點形容香港人嘅咧？我哋有啲咩標籤咧？大家可唔可以俾啲例子我啊 ？Through public chat。Labels of Hong Kongers。作為一個香港人，我哋俾人標籤咗啲咩咧 ？Especially when you go for your holiday。OK，what kind of labeling effect may you experience？ 你去旅行點俾人標籤咗咧？中國人中意講，真係香港人中意講粗口咩 ？Sensitive 咩？講嘢中英夾咗呢個俾分 ，OK， 好 ，Richard， 係啦，講粗口係睇下咩人嘅啫，係啦，講嘢好急啦 ，yes，OK， 貪小便宜我都同意嘅，走遮面啦，冇禮貌，香港人冇禮貌你覺得 ？Well comparing with mainlanders， 我覺得嗰啲意外喎，大家覺得貪小便宜，即係冇禮貌嘅香港人，係啦 ，fast pace 呢個我都覺得係嘅，即係生活節奏係中意投訴啦 ，yes definitely，OK， 中意講價呢個我同意嘅，係啦 ，OK。俾咗分先，中意投訴同中意講價，中意投訴。仲有冇其他？香港人唔係中意講粗口，香港人講嘢離遠都知道㗎啦。知唔知香港人講嘢會點啊？你去旅行啊，離遠都知道香港人嚟緊㗎啦，講嘢大聲係啦。因為 because you know Hong Kong is a very noisy place, we get used to speak loudly，OK， 係啦。行路好快 ，OK， 係呢個可以係啦，即係急速嘅生活節奏啦。頭先同學講嗰啲嘛 ，OK， 咁呢啲係人哋鄉係港女講係啦。Sometimes we have some negative labeling。嗱，香港男士好慘㗎，俾外國人睇，其實香港嘅男士係弱不禁風嘅，韌切切嚇 ，OK， 即係手無縛雞之力。咁呢啲都係對一啲男士香港男士嘅偏見 ，OK， 係啦 labeling。好，咁口才好我就唔同意啦，一啲人嘅咋，唔係個個咁識講嘅。Even the CE，OK，I don't think she got good communication skills。好，咁所以就係呢一度咁樣俾分先。大聲頭先係啦，大聲嗰個俾分啦。好，繼續落。好 ，Now another thing I want you to think about labeling，OK？Think about mainlanders，大家點標示國內人嘅？ Give me some examples. Labels of mainland Chinese。國內旅客 rude, impolite 打尖，大家都好斯文啊，冇禮貌。你會形容佢係咩啊？大聲、周街屙屎呢啲行為啫，你會形容佢一種嘢嘅。What do you label them? How can we label them? 除咗唔衞生，仲有啲咩啊？冇人講嗰粒字喎，估唔到喎。Some kind of insect 啊。昆蟲啊，土豪我俾你 ，OK？ 冇人講喎，國內旅客我哋形容佢哋係蝗蟲啊嘛 ，label，yes，you got it，OK？ 係啦，就係咁啦 ，grasshopper， 好，跟住寫低先。咁呢啲就係 labeling 啦 ，OK？You have bias about that group of people，OK？They go to poo poo everywhere，they are not clean，they just cut the line，they are so rude，they are so loud，OK？都係 labeling，right？OK？ 係啦，等我俾埋分先，因為一陣間直接要去冇文化係啦，我同意嘅 ，OK？ 係啦，跟住就土豪啦，支乸係啦，呢個都係一個潮語嚟嘅而家，但我唔係幾明點解叫國內人係支乸，有冇同學可以解釋下俾我聽啊？即係因為調轉係拉支啊！哦，唔該晒你啊，係邊位同學啊 ？Sarah。Sarah 好唔該，我就成日見啲人都成日以前咧係啲日本人咁樣叫佢哋嘅。哦，叫佢哋做 Chila 咯，其實係侮辱性嘅。有時因為我教呢科書咧，我備課，我呢一排睇下啲連登高登嘅， 近初見到好多人就話啲國能係支那咁樣，係啦，所以我 OK 原來係咁。好多謝晒你嘅解讀啊，係啦，我又今堂真係學咗好多嘢，大家真係廣東話好過我好多啊，係啦，misbehave， 係啦，跟住就拉枝，我覺得嗰個人都幾有腦喎，真係將佢咁樣調翻轉嚟講啦。嗱，一暗語呢個有 metaphor 啦。頭先我哋講下，你唔直接叫佢拉枝，你支那 ，OK， 其實就係拉枝嘅隱喻啦。OK，this is a very good example actually。好污糟，好係啦，冇文化土豪 China，OK，中共啊，你話佢係嘛 ？unrespectful， 其實都係我好同意，佢哋都唔多尊重人嘅，呢個我都同意。OK， 好，咁所以你見到啦。Even for Chinese, we also have a labels for them. But in order to have good communication, you should tear out all these labels, okay? You need to be open-minded. You need to put down your bias. 你要有一個有效益嘅溝通咧，你一定要將呢啲偏見擺低晒，咁你先會同佢互動噶嘛。如果唔係，你都唔會同佢講嘢啦。甚至可能你聽緊佢講嘢，你基本上 shut down 咗㗎。So that's why we need to put down the labels when you try to talk to one another, guys. 好。呢個點繼續落去啦。And now we move on to this bit, okay? The languages that you can speak. We have two terms, bilingual and multilingual. Okay, bilingual means okay, you can speak two languages fluently. Okay, 你可以講兩種語言嘅。Okay, multilingual 咧，that means you can speak more than two languages. Okay, now I have the second polling. Okay, I want you to 刪先，等我 poll。Be launch poll continue， 等我 end poll 係等我啊，我教緊第二得啦。好嗱，大家而家請撳掣啊！我想問下大家你自己可以講幾多種語言咧？2、3、4、5 ，OK？I give you 30 seconds， 30秒撳一撳啦，掣啊 ，OK？ 你可以講幾多種語言啊？嚇 ，OK？係俾多幾廿秒嚇，而家13秒個鐘嚇。好，有8位同學撳咗掣啦。How many languages can you speak？ 有幾多個語言你可以講嘅咧？你自己喎 ，not the others， yourself。How many language can you speak？ 2、3、4、5，有同學識講5種語言咁犀利，犀利，犀利。有一個同學識講5種語言啊。OK， 好。最後10零秒嚇，而家38分、39、40，OK。仲有一位同學未答我嚇 ，OK， 有22位同學上咗線，咦？點解唔見咗啲人嘅？我明明點名係齊人㗎，有啲人係咪斷咗線啊？定係點完名就拜拜咗啦？咁曳，好，咁咧嗱，我停啦，俾大家睇睇下 ，share。OK，you should be able to see my screen. Most of you can speak 3 languages. OK，and some of you, 9 students can speak 4.And one of the students can speak 5 languages. Okay, very good. 我分享少少啦，我識講廣東話、英文、普通話、潮州話，我識講少少，聽我冇問題。但係你要我講我就唔識啦。咁所以咧，我都係跌落係4嘅啫。I can't reach 5 at this stage. Okay, but if I have time, okay, maybe after my retirement, I want to learn French. 如果我遲啲退咗休咧，有時間我想學法文，咁呢個係我嘅第5個語言我想學嘅。Okay。And no matter what kind of jobs you want to work on it, okay, you need to have good language skills. 好，完呢個點就咁啦。就頭先我叫大家撳掣就係呢個遊戲啦。好，翻嚟先。好 ，and this one, please turn. We are still on page 6. Okay. Another key term is interlanguage. Okay. This is not something new for Hong Kongers. We get used to it in our daily life. 例如，我哋會講。去 shopping， 我哋唔會話我哋去購物啦 ，OK？ 即係你唔會同啲 friend 咁樣講，我哋去購物㗎啦嘛，係啦。因為日本人叫中國人做 chi 啦，哦 ，I got you， 好，唔該晒 Michelle 好。咁所以就係呢一度啦，即係我哋香港人好習慣中英夾雜嘅 thank you 你，點 thank you 你咧 ？thank you 應該係多謝你啦，係咪？多謝你，你根本係 not grammatical，but many people say this，thank you 你啊，咁你 thank you 已經係你嘅意思啦。另外 for 乜嘢 for 乜嘢，關於啲咩啊嘛，唔係 for 乜嘢啊嘛 ，OK 係啦。Normally for people have good languages 嗱，大家呢個 如果大家真係想有好語文，麻煩 in your daily life。When you speak Chinese, use all Chinese. When you speak English, use all English。OK， 嗱，我上堂我都係中文就中文，英文就英文，我唔會中英夾雜㗎嚇。OK， 因為你中英夾雜得多咧，你兩邊嘅語文能力都係差，你先唔可以單一咁樣去講一種文字好流暢。所以如果你想你自己中文好啲又好，或者英文好啲都好。你中文嘅時候全中文，你英文嘅時候你全英文。Okay, that's my advice. It's really working. Okay, so if you want to improve your language， 嗰啲咧講嘢中英夾雜，例如嗰個劉明偉嗰啲垃圾啊啲中英文嚇，講嘢一嚿嚿嘅。咁你諗下一個咁嘅人去搞 Ocean Park 會點咧？小題外話。OK， 所以就係 interlanguage 啦。And some countries also use interlanguage, even for Korean. OK， 韓國人有時講嘢佢都有時彈啲英文字咁樣，有啲民族係會有咁樣嘅。好。And now we move on to this one, translation and interpretation. OK， 翻譯。OK， 我哋呢一堂書係講翻譯啊嘛。咁咧nowadays you guys are very familiar with Google Translate 啦。When you go travel, even for your homework, OK, you can easily switch to another language by a simple click. 咁而家咧，我想俾大家睇一睇一條片啊，係一啲新嘅翻譯嘅科技，我想俾大家睇睇下。等等，唔好意思。等啊，唔關事嘅呢個我，等我。
Do you feel anxious to travel to a country whose language you don't speak? Here are 3 inventions that are supposed to make communication abroad easier. This device makes multilingual group chats possible.
Ребята, здесь так красиво.
Guys, how beautiful it is here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
It works without typing. Smart translates 37 languages in real time. The device transcribes spoken words and turns them into an audio file in the respective foreign language.
Hello, can you tell me how to get to the subway station nearby?
To do its job, the device has to connect to a Wi-Fi network or a smart device hotspot. The translation is done by a neural network that is contacted via a cloud server. But the manufacturer also offers a special SIM card that enables roaming in more than 100 countries. Smart has a modular design. The top of the device is detachable and works as a fully functional transceiver and can be used by your conversation partner. According to the developers, this makes conversations easier and more spontaneous. Pro, multilingual conversations. Con, no internet connection, no translation. Lucky Earpod uses 2 built-in microphones to capture speech from up to 2.5 meters away. With the ambassador translator, you don't need an extra microphone in your hand. But what you need are at least 2 devices. They connect to your smartphone via Bluetooth and are controlled with a special app. The words are recorded, analyzed, and translated by a cloud-based neural network. The generated audio translation is then sent to your conversation partner. You can pair up to 4 devices to one smartphone for group chats. Ambassador speaks 20 languages and works about 6 hours on 1 battery charge. Pro, hands-free communication. Con, works for small groups only. This translator could come in handy in restaurants abroad. Warmore recognizes text via its inbuilt camera and directly translates them, so it can give you a good overview on what's on the menu at the place you're planning to eat at. But Warmore also offers speech-to-text and speech-to-speech translations for direct communication. It works with 53 languages and can translate sentences in 0.1 seconds if connected to Wi-Fi or a smartphone hotspot. Warmore's battery is charged via USB. The device weighs only 126 grams. Pro, Warmore is a true lightweight. Con, has to be handed around in conversations. Before we show you our last gadget, we want to know how do you
high tech in terms of translation 啊，而家翻嚟你見到都好多新技術可以支援到大家。咁呢度咩叫 translation 咧 ？Please look at this diagram。好 ，you need to have your source text. Okay, think about the newspaper industry. Let's say I'm working in Apple Daily， 我喺蘋果報度做工，咁我要翻譯一篇外國嘅新聞。The source text means maybe I search for a newspaper article from CNN. Okay, that is the source text. 源頭本身嗰個嘅文件就叫 source text 啦。And then you try to do interpretation， 你嘗試去理解佢裡面嘅意思啦。跟住 and then you you translate it into Chinese， 你嗰個就係你嘅最終極，你 target 想變做咩文字啦？繁體中文 ，OK？ For translations, one of the golden rule is that you can't change the meaning of that context。嗱，翻譯係直譯嘅啫，你唔可以改佢嗰份文件裏面嘅內文嘅，呢個係做翻譯一定要記住嘅金科玉律。你唔可以自己加鹽加醋變咗另外一個意思，咁你叫亂譯 ，OK？ 翻譯就直接譯嘅啫，佢寫 A 你譯 A， 佢寫 B 你譯 B，that is translation，OK？Same meaning is equivalency 就係嗰個 same meaning 啦，就我呢度講噶啦。咁我其實講嗰啲抄嘢咧就係呢一度所講嘅嘢。And then I tailor this diagram so you can understand easily. Do you understand this translation process? If you feel all right, please give me a high five. High five, okay? 係啦 ，if you understand this this diagram, good, thank you guys. 好，跟住我哋去呢度啦 ，code switching 啦，去到另外一個 key terms 叫 code switching. What does it mean by code switching means? Okay, when you speak to different people, you can easily switch to another language as well as the other language as well as the other accent smoothly。你同唔同人講嘢，你直接就轉咗台，可以講對方嘅語言，甚至轉埋佢講嘢嘅語氣啊、用字啊，就係咁啦。OK， In order to understand this diagram, I want to play you this video. OK， code switching。等等我啊，嗱，我今日可能要教到要答正啊，等等我，因為一陣間要講埋 language policy。等等我。同埋啱啱遲咗少少上線嘅同學，麻煩你開定部電腦，你開定你嗰份 reflection paper 嗰份 form， 因為一陣間我一講到你個名，你就 share 俾我啦 ，share 個 screen， 唔好嘥時間。
And because it's so successful after the night festival, I want to try afternoon festival. Next. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to Singapore Tourism Commission.
你睇下呢個
We're very happy to have you here.
咯 ，try 即刻錄。
Have a seat.
I'm Andrew.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'm here for...
What do you know about the Singapore Tourism Commission?
Well, I know that you guys are looking for new help center personnel.
So you read the brief?
Yes.
So you've done your homework?
Yes.
So you're fully aware that we're trying to develop and present Singapore as a vibrant and multicultural city.
Yes.
And all it entails.
Yes.
And such as?
Of course.
The future is in being relatable. No point in having #1 airport, #1 passport, but we don't have #1 rapport.
係啦，而家開始睇。
Every foreigner needs to feel like they're at home in our country, and every local has a role to play. So today, you will role play.
好，佢開始 code switching 我睇下個。
You are many center are running to you for help that day. Be vibrant, be multicultural.
就。
Begin.
好嗱，英國人。
Oi, listen, Jeff. Hey, it's proper ranks in it. You've got some bottled water.
I'm sorry?
Just respond. This is how you blood.
Well, if I can sort you out with one of them portable fans, I'm sure you'll find that they're quite the bee's knees.
嗱，好英國嗰啲 slang 啊 ，bees and knees 啊。澳洲人。
Far out, mate. What time does the bar close around here?
Oh, mate, the party goes on till pretty late. But you can't bring your beer out of the street and down it.
Yeah, no, surely right. Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't.
I'm the cunt.
You're the cunt. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm looking for my Terry. He ran away with the Pestanos Bustos.
Terry ka talaga boyfriend. Natutangin na. Pakshit.
好，繼續。
Ik vind haar welkom terug. Wat doen ze people doen out here?
Wenn sie are sehr hungrig, sie go und eat at the food court or play the football, but they will never beat the Deutschland.
Look, buddy, I don't know what to do. Where to park my car?
You can't park it over here. What are you talking about? It's a walkway. Get out of here.
What are you talking about? I'm just grabbing a cup of coffee.
Come on, Tommy, listen to me. You gotta get your car out of here.
What's up with the mornings here? Looking for the parking meter.
Your head's full of haggis, mate. Use the application. Get your ass on with the times.
So close.
Hi, guys.
My folder.
And some boy, your shoulder line up low. Very strong now. I must have you okay to have it back.
好。
Hey there, it's me.
So that choppy boy actually demonstrate very good code switching. Okay, that person can easily switch that language and learn the accent and speak the same wordings. Okay, the slang of that place. Okay, think about the latest election in the USA 美國咪總統大選嘅 ，OK。When those candidates they try to deliver their speech, okay, to draw the attention of the voters, actually they also use code switching. 佢嘗試係講翻選民中意聽嘅語言，用嘅字語調，其實嗰啲政客就係 code switching 得好緊要嘅 ，OK？ So that's the meaning of code switching。好，翻返嚟先，就嚟完啦。跟住最後呢度 language policy，OK？Many countries also have this kind of policy due to the following reasons. For example, in the previous times, people keep on arguing, should we use 普教中? Should we try to teach the kids through 普通話 rather than Cantonese? Okay. Every countries want to have this kind of elements because they want to have a strong recognized official language. For example, in Hong Kong, the official language is Chinese and English. And in mainland China, the official Chinese is simplified Chinese. And in Hong Kong, we are using traditional Chinese. 嗱，國內嘅合法嘅語言官方語言係簡體中文，但係香港因為係殖民地嘅緣故，我哋仲係用繁體中文嘅。但係之前係試過爭議，就係想用普通話教中文，跟住市民好大迴響啦，咁就殺停咗啦。你見到嚇 ？Why they need to do this? Because they want to head to this research we call assimilations. 佢係想大家同化，接受佢當地嘅一個嘅身份 ，OK？ They want you to accept the cultures and be assimilated as being a Chinese, as being part of the PRC, OK? So that's why they need to set up language policy, OK? 同化嘅一個方式。And in China, actually, they have got 4,000 millions, OK? Although they keep on educating people to speak 普通話, but still have 400 million people that they can't speak 普通話。And most of those people are elderly or they are living in the remote areas or rural area。即係你可能奇怪啦，中國都推咗咁多年普通話教育啦，國內嚇，咁基本上新生代都一定係識講普通話，成為一個大家都溝通到嘅語言啦。但係其實中國好多地方咧，有啲人都係唔識講普通話嘅，例如一啲長輩啦，即係長者老人家，佢哋冇教育嘅機會，咁佢哋唔識啦。另外一啲比較偏遠同埋山區嘅地方嘅人。咁佢哋冇機會去學，咁都會形成呢一種即係情況嘅。Another case I want to share with you later is about the 新疆 re-education camp， 新疆再教育營嚇，好變態嘅。我遲啲播條片俾大家睇。點變態法咧 ？They will catch all the 新疆 people and then they need to stay in a camp. Actually, it's like a prison. Okay, although the claim is a camp， 可能斷線嘅，因為我而家講啲好敏感嘅嘢啊。Okay, and besides that, those people must learn Chinese. They need to dye their hair into black colors. They need to learn Chinese dance. They need to learn Chinese language. Okay, it's a must. Okay, for a certain period， 佢要學到特定程度，同化咗佢特定程度，佢先可以放出嚟啊！好慘豬。OK， 我遲啲再播個例子俾大家睇。OK， so actually, the language policy can be seen as a political gear。其實係一個政治操控嘅手段嚟嘅，某程度上。雖然 the good side is that okay, we can speak the same language, we can make friends, we can create a more inclusive society. But is that the case? Is that okay? 自己要諗一下，係咪真係咁簡單先？好，就係呢個點啦。下一版字。And in here, due to globalizations, okay, actually we need to share some common knowledge, okay?This is another key terms to talk about common knowledge in communication studies. 通用語言，我哋專業啲叫 lingua franca, okay? The language that has been widely accepted by the world. For example, English. English is an example of lingua franca. 呢個即係 common language 嘅另一個叫法啫，不過懶係高端啲。好。And even nowadays, okay, some of the politicians' granddaughter, okay, like Donald Trump, okay, granddaughter also can speak Mandarin. Okay, I will play you this video. And even the Pakistan students nowadays, they can speak 普通話。而家巴基斯坦啲學生都要學普通話。我先播呢條片，跟住再播 Donald Trump 個孫講普通話嗰條片俾大家睇睇下。等等我先播呢條片。One moment。播完我哋落堂去 tutorial， 啱啱好夠鐘。等等我啊。等等 Food Panda 呢排係咁賣廣告， 係。
取同超市雜貨，連買泡菜都得，快20分鐘送到。
係啊，嗰啲俾我
嗌乜都有，
有
精選優惠，隨時嗌咯喂！
佢呢個好明顯 ，Foodpanda 呢排係用緊 continuity 啊，係咁洗腦，因為呢排疫症好咗，咁我外賣生意都爭嗰啲，咁佢係咁賣廣告呢排，好繼續。
मेरा नाम सीमा फिल्डूक है। अच्छा, मैंने चाइनीज लैंग्वेज अभी रिसेंटली शुरू किया है हम लोगों ने पढ़ाना, जनवरी से लेकर मार्च तक। एक्चुअली हमारा न्यू सेशन जो शुरू हुआ है, मैं बच्चों को 1 हफ्ते से पढ़ा रही हूँ। तकरीबन 1 हफ्ते के तमाम ये स्पेशल दोस्ती है इससे पढ़ाने बच्चे हमारे बच्चे बाकी कन्वर्सेशन पढ़ा रही हूँ कि How are you? If they'll meet to someone, अगर वो किसी से मिलते हैं तो किस तरीके से it means पूछे सवालात कैसे करें. So
你見到佢都係講中文嘅。My questions. Do you know why students in Pakistan need to learn 普通話? Anyone know the reasons? 知唔知點解佢哋要學普通話？巴基斯坦、印巴啲人都係。印度而家唔好講啦，打到七彩。Do you know why the people in Pakistan they are quite keen to learn 普通話? That's my questions. If you knew the answers, please try to type it out through public chat. Yes, 係啦，一帶一路 Belt and Road。
Wow, President Xi of China。
俾咗翻先一帶一路嗰啲，係啦，即係中國信所借咗錢俾係啦，基本上就係咁嘅主要原因。人哋係咪真心想學咧 ？I don't know, right? OK， 係啦，獻媚啦，我哋叫做嚇。等我俾翻先啊，可能隨時斷線嘅講啲咁敏感嘅嘢。好。大家睇一睇呢個先。
China was visiting Mar-a-Lago, and the president, Ivanka. So you can hear.
Okay. This is the granddaughter of Donald Trump. That is President Xi. Okay, and actually, this little girl was singing 茉莉花、茉莉花 ，OK， 唱普通話幾勁，細細個已經栽培佢去學普通話啦。Or even some of the tycoon, OK, in the US, OK， 索羅斯係其中一個股神啦，佢個孫女都係識講流利普通話，有一個細路女嚟嘅，細個已經要叫佢學中文咧，幾有遠見 ，OK。So as being a Chinese, don't tell me you can't speak 普通話 ，OK？ Even foreigners, they go for exchange. They head to China for the exchange. 好多外國人嚟國內去做交換生㗎嚇，佢想了解中國文化同埋學普通話。So you can see the power of languages. Okay. So I have already covered the key points for today. I will see you for the tutorial. Okay. Please log into that link and get ready for your form. I want to talk to all students within these sections efficiently. 麻煩幫手你開定你篇名，我一嗌你個名，你就 share screen 開麥，我嗱聲同你講，跟住下位同學每位我想2至3分鐘講完佢 ，OK？ 好，咁我哋而家先去tutorial 先。Bye bye guys, I will stop this link. Bye bye guys.